What is going on, guys? Today we are going to be prepping the car, getting it all ready so we can take it around the block, make sure everything's good there. So the first thing that I did to get it ready is the car ready, actually I did off camera because I was just messing around and seeing what works and what doesn't, and I ended up figuring it out. But my alternator is charging the battery now, which is good. It turns out that I wired the alternator up wrong. Let me just show you what I did and how I fixed it. So here's my mess of all the electronics for the engine, and right here we have this light right there, and that is our new battery light. Now it's not LED, and I'm wondering if that's why it worked, but at the same time I had it wired wrong because up in the actual where the cluster goes, I have an LED up there that I did have going to the alternator, but the other side of the LED I had going to ground, and that's where I was messing up. It's actually supposed to go to a 12-volt power source. That's why the light wasn't turning on and activating the alternator so it would start charging the battery. Now with this is all temporary just because I wanted to get everything to work. So if you notice on any car, when you put the key in, turn it on and not start the car, you'll see a battery logo pop up on your cluster, or the light under the battery, little icon in there. That is coming off the alternator. That is your charging light. If you go and start the car, that light should turn off when the car starts running. If it doesn't, then you have something wrong going on there and you need to check the battery or the alternator. This is what it is supposed to do. So right now you see we have power and our little light is on. So now we'll start the car and you'll see that it turns off once the car starts running. So now the car is on, that light is off, and our battery voltage, it's kind of low. It's at 12, only because the RPMs are so low. I'm still having idle issues, but if we go over there, I'm gonna give it a little gas, and if you watch the battery, it is right there. So as you saw, the battery voltage went up to around 14 volts, and that's where you want it to be. Alright, let's turn that off. So because our alternator is working, that technically means that the car is drivable now, which is exciting. That's great. I'm real happy that the car is at a point where it can be driven. The thing is, there's still more things we gotta do. Nothing major. We gotta throw the driver's seat back in, of course. And I believe that I'm gonna have to adjust the seat because now my shifter sits forward a little bit and my seats don't have sliders. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I think it's gonna be up there. It's one of those two. Installing the seats, we had to make custom brackets because I didn't want to spend the ridiculous amount of money you have to spend to get brackets for an S13. So I ended up making my own, and I didn't use sliders because it would make the seat sit so high, and it already sits kind of high with the cushions in. But I did take these cushions out. Those are the seat cushions that go down there, and I'm hoping that the ride is soft enough to where that's not going to be an issue. Worst case scenario, I'll have to buy like a pillow to sit on, which is whatever. I mean, it's better than those cushions because like these are super like hard, like they're real like dense, so they take a lot of weight to compress, and I'm not enough weight to compress them enough apparently, so I sit pretty close to the ceiling and I'm not even that tall. So that's a problem. So before we do put the seat in, I do want to clean out the interior a little bit because it is pretty messy. I've essentially been using it almost as a trash can while I'm working in there. There's a lot of wire in there that's not being used. There's a lot of stripped wire, cut wires and stuff like that in the car that needs to be taken out. So we gotta clean it up real quick, and then we can throw the seat in and we can see if we need to adjust it or not. That is unacceptable. We need to get that fixed, so we'll do that right now. Hey, look at that, it looks all clean now. I mean, not like totally clean, like there's still stuff there, don't get me wrong, but we got all the tools and everything out, all the zip tie ends and wires and stuff like that that we don't need. We got that out, tucked everything up in there, including the cable for the dash. I have that just sitting up in there, so whenever I need to, I can just go to it to plug it into the laptop. Clean up a little bit back here. There's still stuff that needs to be done, of course, but I've been debating on getting carpet again. If I can find carpet cheap enough, then I'll most likely do it, just because this looks like shit, honestly. So if I can get some carpet to make everything look decent, then that would be pretty sweet. I still have to make a tray for our battery, because right now it's just sitting there, so I'm gonna have to make a tray. That's not too hard though. I've just been lazy, just haven't done it yet. We did get all the stuff out from there off the seat, so everything's all nice and clean now. So we're gonna throw the driver's seat back in and see how it fits. So unfortunately, we're definitely gonna have to move the seat up, which I was sort of hoping we wouldn't have to, but it's gotta happen. But I do sit a lot lower, which is nice. My head's not almost on the ceiling. I've got some clearance. I'm sort of close to the gauge, so we might move the seat over a bit so I'm closer to the center console, because I have more room to go on the seat. I can slide over more, so we might do that. Other than that, like, I miss the harness. Oh, I have to adjust the the groin area band, whatever the hell it's called. That section, I have to tighten up, because now that the cushions aren't there, I'm sitting lower. So it was set to where when the cushions were there, so I was sitting up higher, so that the straps need to be higher, because they go up through the cushions and then attach from there. So this section that goes across here is normally a little bit lower, and there's a lot of room, so I have to bring that down, which isn't going to be that hard because the seat's got to come back out anyways, so I can do it then. The passenger one, I might have to do the same thing though, unfortunately, but that seat's going to have to come out once we build the battery tray, so we'll do that when we get there. And I guess I'll adjust it for a little loose on me. I guess, but it is really nice to sit in the car once again. But yeah, I can't even put the clutch to the floor. Like, if I like really try and use like my tippy toes, then I can put it to the floor. But I don't want to be dealing with that. I want to be able to just put it to the floor and not even have to try. So we've got to move it forward, which sucks, but we'll do it, and then we'll throw her back in and see how she fits. Alright, so I took the seat out and adjusted it and moved it forward and over to more of the center console, and I just sat in it, and guys, it's perfect. Like, it's great. Like, I can't believe I got it in the first try. I'm glad I did, because taking seats in and out is not fun when you have a cage and a lot of stuff that gets in the way of you trying to get the seat out. But we got it pretty good. Like, I don't think I can adjust it anymore. Like, I think it's perfect the way it is. And look, we have 2 seats again, finally. Oh, I can't wait to drive this thing. I can't wait. I think that's what we're gonna do next, is drive it after we finish this up. There's one more thing that I want to do before we end the video, but I think the next thing is taking it out and seeing what happens. So the last thing I want to do involves this. This is a 2-pin connector. We're going to be using it for our speed sensor in the trans. So I'm going to cut off the plug that's on the wiring specialties harness for the speed sensor, and I'm going to put this plug on, just because it's a different plug than what the KA plug is, so I have to do this. And I'd rather have it still be detachable, so just in case we have to drop the trans for whatever reason, I don't have to pull the speed sensor out. I can just unplug it. It's kind of hard to film under here, but here is our speed sensor plug. We've got the new 2-pin connector on. Okay, and now I just have to tuck these wires up in there, zip tie them, get them secured, and then we should be good now. So I wired the speed sensor to pin 20 right there in the center of your screen, the VSS in, vehicle speed sensor, and then to sensor ground, I believe I used 38, but it doesn't matter, they're both sensor grounds. And then I adjusted the settings on our ECU. I honestly don't know if those are correct, although I do know that VR sensor is correct, as well as gearbox sensor and the sensor adds VSS input, but I don't know about the rest, so we are going to start it up, put it in first, and see if we get anything on our dash. And if we do, then we have it right, and if not, then we'll just start messing with these settings there. So for some reason, the speed sensor is causing me to lose spark. I'm not sure why, but when I have the speed sensor plugged in, no spark. And I pulled the plugs, cleaned them, put them back in, nothing. Pulled them out, cleaned them, put them back in, nothing. Put 2 new spark plugs in, because that's all I have right now, is 2 extras. Nothing. Changed coil packs, changed plug wires, nothing. Have power go in there, and both the grounds are good, but for some reason it's not sparking. So something was going on with the signal wire, and I'm not sure why, but I wired it up how ecumaster says to wire it up. I'm not sure what to do for the parameters. I'm pretty sure they're probably wrong, and that's probably why that happened. But once again, it looks like it's another thing for the tuner to figure out, because I don't know how. So other than that, we got some pretty important things done. I'm actually sitting in the car, in the driver's seat for the first time. I mean, everything else is good, you know. I think we're ready to drive the car. I just wish I'd have a speed sensor so I can know how fast the car's going and make sure everything's good there. But I mean, I didn't have a working cluster before, so I guess it's not that important. All the other sensors work, everything else is reading, which is good. I still want to get a fuel pressure sensor, but that can wait. We need to drive this thing, we need to get it streetable, and then we can get ready to dyno it. With that said, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you did, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.